Welcome students. We are dealing with series of name reactions, and in this context today we will be taking up Perkin reaction put forward by the scientist in the year 1868. As can be seen, this is a condensation between aromatic aldehyde and acetic anhydride in the presence of a weak base to give us this condensed product, that is the unsaturated alpha beta unsaturated acid. The base used is sodium salt of the carboxylic acid from which acid anhydride is made. In this case, generally, this is acetic anhydride. So the base will be sodium acetate, the salt of the same acid from which the anhydride is being made. And sodium acetate is used like it's shown here with acetic anhydride. What could happen if we use a strong base, because we are using a weak base? In the presence of a strong base, what would happen is that this acetic anhydride, it would not enolize. And if it didn't enolize, then condensation would have progressed further. Why? Because acetic anhydride would have then broken into, the strong base would have broken this into two parts. That is the acid, acetic acid namely in this case, and sodium acetate. And no enolization would have occurred. So, we use this weak base. This is the reason we can't use a strong base, because then enolization would not occur. This will break into the acid and the sodium salt of that acid, not the enol. And why are these enols, they do not self-condense. Another thing is, these are used because this doesn't have an alpha hydrogen. This has alpha hydrogens and two alpha hydrogens, and moreover, when the enol is formed, so the enols of 1,3-dicarbonyl compounds are stable. So they won't condense, no self-condensation will occur. And the importance is, earlier it was, when it was put forward, it was for the synthesis of this very important compound coumarin. Coumarin is very important. And nowadays, the importance lies in the synthesis of this phytoestrogenic stilbene, resveratrol. And resveratrol is a very strong antioxidant used to protect against diseases like heart disease, cancer, etc. So Perkin reaction is used there for the large-scale preparation of this compound. Now let's see the mechanism. As has been said, this is analogous to our aldol condensation. The mechanism will therefore also be along the same lines, leading to the formation of this unsaturated acid. How will it be in the same line? That first of all, as we know in all these condensations, the first step is the generation of the enolate. So how will the enolate be generated? This is the anhydride, here acetic anhydride, CH3COO, So this base will abstract a hydrogen, H positive, leaving the electron pair here. Hence we get this carbene ion, which will enolize to give us, because that will be resonance stabilized, this enol, which is, so enolate will be formed and it will be resonance stabilized, as we can see, because this is the group over here. So this will move here, and in this way it will be resonance stabilized by these, because you see electron withdrawing groups are present over here. Hence it is stable. This is stable. This enolate which is formed is a stable enolate. So there will not be, had it not been stable, had it been unstable, then in that case it would have given us a self-condensation reaction. This would have condensed because there is a carbonyl here too. But this is not the case. Now, after this carbene ion has been formed, there will be the nucleophilic attack on the carbonyl carbon of our aromatic ring. So the next step, this will attack here, and in this case, therefore, we will get the formation of this product, namely CHO negative, because electromeric shift, and this carbon positive where the CH2 carbene ion is attacked, so CH2 COO CO CH3. Okay, now what will happen is, because there's another, this is 1,3-dicarbonyl, see how it's stabilizing now itself, this is 1,3-dicarbonyl, this O negative will tend to form a ring here. So in this, this ring structure will be formed, and cyclic structure rather. And now the cyclic structure which has been formed, as we can see, because O negative with C positive here, this the other carbonyl here. So one was the carbonyl of the aromatic, this is the carbonyl of this carbene ion itself. So this is forming this ring. Once this ring has been formed, now since there are electron pulling groups, this carbon double bond oxygen and oxygen, this is pulling electrons towards itself. So this will tend to break, and what will help in this is, because now this valency is one valency satisfied from here, the other from here, and once this pi electrons moves back, the valency is satisfied, so this bond will break, so we will get CH2 COO negative. This will be formed. So CH2 CO negative has been formed. Now as a consequence of this, what happens is that this carbon hydrogen alpha to this carbonyl is acidic, and at the same time this CHO, which is attached here, the other end, this too is attached to C double bond O. So electrons will be pulled, in other words. So what will happen, that this H will leave as H positive, leaving, because electrons are continuously being pulled. So there will be a double bond, CH-CH, a double bond will be created here. And once the double bond has been created here, so since this oxygen is pulling also the electrons toward itself, because it's attached to this carbon which is positive, because it is a carbonyl carbon, so it is positive in nature. So this is pulling positive, this electrons from here. So oxygen in turn will pull the electrons from here and this will help or facilitate the removal of this H positive. As a result, we will get CH, double bond CH, COO negative. And at this end, we will get CH3 COO negative, which will form with sodium ion, sodium acetate. Now, here, when we heat this, as a result of this, we are getting, because this bond will break, so we will get this unsaturated CH, COO negative. And in the presence of, in acid hydrolysis rather, so we will be getting CH, COOH. So this was the mechanism of Perkin reaction, namely first formation, generation of the enolate, a stable enolate, by means of this acetate, the weak base, withdrawing a hydrogen positive, forming a carbene ion, which enolizes, and it is a stable enolate, and this will then attack the carbon positive to give us this structure whereby a cyclic structure is formed, because CH, this is the CH of the aldehyde, is attached to the carbene ion, CH2, COO, CO, CH3. And since once this is formed, this oxygen negative will be pulled towards the carbon positive of the carbonyl. And hence, after that, we will get this cyclic structure. Now, this cyclic structure has so many electronegative groups which are pulling electrons from carbon. So carbon in turn will pull electrons from the associated hydrogen. So what will happen as a result, because once this ring has been formed, this oxygen pi electrons will come back, because this is pulling electrons, the oxygen. So these will be pulled back, and this bond will therefore break. So at one end we will be having CH3, CO and this O, and at the other end we will be having CH2, COO negative. Now, CH2CO negative, the negative charge, helps in the elimination of H positive. Once H positive leaves, a double bond is formed here, and as a result of this, because this oxygen too is pulling electrons towards itself, because it's attached to this carbonyl carbon, this will leave in the form of CH3CO, and at the same time, after acid hydrolysis, we will get our unsaturated acid. Now, as I discussed earlier, that we can't use strong bases because the enolate will not be formed and anhydride will break, and the reaction will not be able to take place. Here are a few examples which I have written down, and as we can see, as a result of this, what is happening is basically, I've just written Perkin. Perkin implies that we are using an anhydride and the sodium salt of that anhydride. Generally, it is acetic anhydride and the sodium salt of that acid of that anhydride, that is sodium acetate, and then hydrolyzing it, acid hydrolysis. So what is happening, and now see, this is not unsaturated, but this is vinylic, and since this is vinylic, this too will give this reaction, because ultimately we will be getting the unsaturated acid. So it is given by these sort of compounds too. This is CH2CH like it was, and CHO. So this is again the unsaturated aldehyde, like in the case of aromatic aldehyde. So after Perkin, what will happen? CH2, CH, CH. What happens after Perkin is, where we have the double bond O, there only what is added? A CH, COOH. That is what happened here too when we got this, because see, this was C6H5CHO. Instead of O, what was now, it was after the mechanism, it showed that CH, COOH is what is being added. O is being eliminated, in place of that, as a consequence, this is being added. So this is all that is to be done once we know that the reagents given are the ones which facilitate a Perkin reaction. In this case too, this is again furfuryaldehyde. So we will be getting after Perkin, see, CH, we will add here O, will leave in place of that CH, COOH. So again an unsaturated acid. Similarly, for this reaction shown here, C6H5, CH, CH, CHO, after Perkin we will be getting, this will be there, see, CH instead of O, CH, COH. So once we know the mechanism, we know that at the end of it, there will be this replacement of O by CH, COOH. And this reaction which I have written here was the important reaction which was used, which was the one which led to this Perkin reaction in the 1868s in those, and to form coumarin. So basically what is this? This is salicylaldehyde. See, salicylaldehyde after a Perkin added what? CH, CH, COOH. OH and OH minus H2O, and what was formed? Coumarin, having very important antioxidant properties. So this was formed. This is the Perkin reaction. The next reaction we'll be dealing with is Neuvena-Gell condensation reaction of the 1890s. It's again a modified aldol condensation, whereby these carbonyls, they add to active methylene compounds, that is active hydrogen containing compounds, and form an enone, alpha beta conjugated enone, after elimination of water. So the active hydrogen, that is having 2 electron withdrawing groups, these are the ones which are generally used. Most of the time it's a diester. So here too a weak base is used. Why weak? Because strong base leads to self-condensation. Therefore weak base is used. And base generally it is, which is used here, is a mixture of piperidine and pyridine. So if we see a carbonyl compound, in this case this carbonyl, it can be any carbonyl. Whereas in the earlier case we saw to it that it was generally an aromatic compound in the case of the Perkin condensation. But where here we can use any carbonyl. It can be an aldehyde or it can be a ketone. That too is there, the flexibility. And here the general reaction is shown, whereby these ZZ, these indicate this is CH2, the active methylene group, and these are 2 electron withdrawing. That's why I'm saying it's we are generally using a diester, because that is very activating, and in the presence of a weak base itself, this H positive will leave and we will be getting our carbene ion. So, and what is used as a weak base here? The piperidine and pyridine. So if we see carbonyl and an active methylene and piperidine and pyridine, these bases, that is, in other words, we are trying to do our novena gel, this condensation. Now let's see the mechanism. The mechanism of this reaction, as is shown here. So here, this is R1COO R2. R2 does not mean 2 R's. This is just because these are 2 different R's. And this is ROCOCH2COOR. The amine base, that is the difference. And again, so active methylene, CH2, 1,3, and as we saw that 1,3 dicarbonyl, the enolates are very good enolates, stable enolates. So in the presence of an amine base, we will be getting this R1, R2, CO, this is how the condensation will take place, COOR, RCO, and this where there was the double bond O, this has been replaced by this active methylene carbene ion. Now the carbene ion which has been formed as a consequence. So let's see how the reaction proceeds in this case. As is the first step in any of these condensation reaction, the first step is the carbene ion generation. The carbene ion generation which is taking place here. So C2, OC2H5CO, CH2, OC2H5CO, dicarbonyl, piperidine, and now what will happen is that an H, because this has got a lone pair of electrons, so this H positive will tend to be pulled by this, so that we will get an NH2 with a positive charge. So what has been generated here? A carbene ion. And this carbene ion, these are the resonance stabilized forms for this 1,3-dicarbonyl. As we can see, double bond here, because the C negative moves here. This is the C negative generated. So it is stabilized either here, or at the same time it can be stabilized from the other carbonyl. So this can be stabilized by these 2 carbonyls. So these 1,3-dicarbonyls are very stable via enolate formation, because enolate is being formed and there are 2 carbonyls to stabilize. So this is a very stable carbonyl that has been formed, and as we can see, these are resonance stabilized, so they will act as very good nucleophiles to attack on the carbonyl carbon. These are the resonance stabilized structures. Now the attack takes place of this carbene ion on the carbonyl carbon. So this is the carbene ion. This will attack electromeric shift, carbon positive. As a result of this, we will be getting here, this was RCHO, so this is RCHO negative, and this is the carbene negative, carbene ion. Now this carbene ion, where there is O, this which is attached now after nucleophilic addition to this RCHO, now this O negative will pull again, because this was formed when carbene ion was formed. In that case, NH changed to NH2. Now this NH2 here will pull this electron, and therefore what will happen is H positive, because the positive charge unstable, so H positive will leave from here. We will get an OH here. So this is the electron of O negative. This pulls H positive. As a result, electron pair leaves here. So we get back our base which we started with. Now this base will react further. How? Now once this base is being formed, what will happen? Because we have got this now RCHOH. H has been inserted here. So RCHOH, this will further react. How? Because the base is there. Now this base, there are two carbonyls here, and therefore H positive, because there's another hydrogen which can be replaced from here, which can leave as an active. We can say this is an active hydrogen. So NH2 again will be formed, just because with this, and this will leave the electron pair, and this electron pair will therefore form a double bond. Because this, how will it form a double bond? Because at the same time when this is happening, this OH is pulling electrons towards itself, and as a result of this will leave H positive, electron pair will be formed here, valency is now fulfilled of this carbon, and this will be the leaving group. So we will get our product. Our product will be formed as a result of this. So this is a very simple condensation. As you can see, that carbene ion generated, carbene ion which is then reacts with further with the aldehyde or the ketone, whatever the case may be, and this aldehyde or ketone further then by elimination of OH and H, that is, what is it being an alpha beta elimination? So H2O in general, water is being eliminated, forms this conjugated enone, the product. Now let's see a few examples of this. The first one, where we have acetone, and in this case, see, this is the active methylene group, CH2 and CHO. Again, these are two electron pulling groups, C double bond O, and in the presence of this base CH3CONH2, again a weak base, CH3COH, this will therefore form CH3 whole twice C double bond C. From where has this double bond C come? Because this is the one which is giving this carbene ion. So C double bond C, CHO, CHO, H2O, this leaves. So, and this on hydrolysis will lead to CH3 whole twice C double bond CH hydrolysis, acetic hydrolysis. So there will be, first of all, this will leave, carbon dioxide will be eliminated on heating, because this will form further. So CH, COOH, because this will be COH, COH, and minus CO2, because aldehyde forms a carboxylic COH, COH, and therefore minus CO2 on heating, and we get this 3-methylcrotonic acid. 3-methylcrotonic acid. And if on the other hand our starting compound is an aldehyde of this nature, and the base is CH2, again this time here it's a diester, CH2COR2. So in this case, what will happen? By pyridine, CH3, CH, now no longer this in place of this double bond, H2 from here, O from here, so we get C, H2O elimination. Ultimately what happens, as I told you, H2 is eliminated, we saw in the mechanism. So in place of double bond O, what is there? H2O leaves, so C, double bond C, COOR2. Now this goes further for a Michael type of reaction. Michael type of reaction will occur, so that we will get again, because this is present, so we will again get CH3CH, and where there was a double bond CCOR2. So again we will be getting what? CHCOR, this, because one more carbon ion will be formed. So we will be getting CHCOR2. This on further hydrolysis, decarboxylation, hydrolysis, so this will leave when alcohol acid will be formed at the same time, and we will get CH3CH, CH2COH, CH2COH. How did this happen? In place of the double bond O, this time because of the Michael addition, we are getting two of these CH2 moieties, that is this diester. Two of these are being attached by virtue of the Michael reaction. So this is, we know that this is 3-methyl glutaric acid is what? CH2, CH, CH2, COH. Here in the third carbon, 1, 2, 3, 3-methyl glutaric acid. So ultimate formation of 3-methyl glutaric acid. 3-methyl glutaric acid has been formed. If you please follow this, that this in this case, why this has happened is because after this step, there was further, the reaction proceeded further due to the presence of, because there was this Michael reaction with this compound. So one was a Michael donor, one was a Michael acceptor, and finally, therefore, this was formed. Now, in the case of glyoxylic acid, if glyoxylic acid is taken, oxalic acid, COH, so one lesser oxidation level. So now this is CHO, glyoxalic acid, again with diester in the presence of piperidine will lead to COH, CH, and we will get COOR2. H2O, presence of H2O, and we will be getting COH, CH, CH, COH. COH and CH was present earlier, and what has been added here further? After decarboxylation, hydrolysis and decarboxylation, because this will hydrolyze, so we will get 2 COH, and decarboxylation minus CO2, so we will get COH, CH, another CH over here, and COH. Now this is the Dobner modification of the same reaction, whereby we are using, what is the modification? That this malonic acid is used, CH2COH, COH, in the presence of piperidine or pyridine, and this is RCHO. So as a consequence, we will be getting RCH, the unsaturated acid. So this is Nevinagel condensation, but known as, it's a modified version of the reaction where this is the one which is the active methylene compound used. So that's the only thing. The mechanism which proceeds is like the earlier ones only. Let's see the mechanism, that in the presence of a base, because this is malonic acid, not an ester this time, this is the acid. So in the presence of a base, what will happen? Base OH negative will pull this H positive. The base will pull this H positive from here. Not OH, this time the base is pyridine. So this will pull this H positive, and this H positive once pulled, this will generate then O negative here, the ion, carboxylate ion. So what will happen because of this, once this has been generated, therefore this will pull, now this is carbon double bond oxygen, this is carbon double bond oxygen. Since these are pulling electrons towards themselves, this is the active methylene group. So the active methylene group H positive will leave, and we will get this carbene ion. Now this carbene ion, as you will see, it will be a delocalized dianion. Why? Because see, this is CO negative, and this too is also CO negative, electromeric shift, and therefore this is C over here, the carbene ion, double bond C, double bond C. So this is a stable dianion, stabilized more so by hydrogen bonding, because see, this is O and these are the direct vicinity close to each other. So a weak hydrogen bond, this bond will be formed here. So this will be stabilized by the hydrogen bond. So we will get a stable hydrogen bonded delocalized dianion. Now once this dianion has been formed, which is stable as we can see, because this is CH, CO, OH, CO, O negative, H has been taken away by the base initially only. So this is dianion, and moreover this is a hydrogen bond which is formed. This when it reacts with the carbonyl, therefore the next step is again the nucleophilic addition. On nucleophilic addition with the carbonyl, we will get this compound, because this was our malonic acid stabilized forming a dianion, and so this R, C, H, O negative. O negative will again pull an electron from the base which earlier on abstracted H positive. So it was converted into B positive H, as we saw in the earlier reaction in this. So now this will form an OH. Once this OH has been formed, now there's another O negative here. So that O negative will also pull electrons forming an OH. And now what do we have? We have an OH here. This was the malonic ester side, and we have an OH where we have an OH at this place. This is the aldehyde, the carbonyl side, whether it is an aldehyde or it is a ketone. In this case it's an aldehyde. So this is RCHOH. Now what will happen is, this R's, when we heat this will therefore tend to leave, because OH and H, as we can see again, they are in close vicinity. So they will leave in the form of OH. This will pull the bond towards itself, and this OH will pull H positive from here. So as a result of that, this will leave the electron pair here. So this electron pair is left here. Ultimately H2O escapes, and since this electron pair is left here, the valency of this carbon 2 is satisfied, so it will leave as CO2. So H2O, one H coming from which end? The malonic acid end. And the OH coming from which end? The RCHOH. This is the carbonyl end. So minus H2O and one of the carbon dioxide, and this is the carbon dioxide end. So from here CO2 will leave, and one longer required. It has got the bond from here, electron pair from this hydrogen which is left as H2O. So a double bond will be formed here, and we will get our trans-alkenoic acid, trans-alkenoic acid. Now this was the modification of the earlier studied reaction, that is the Ney-Venagel condensation reaction. And some of the important applications are that it's used in the synthesis of this anti-malarial drug, lumefantrine, and moreover microwave and ultrasound irradiated reactions are also reported in the literature, and photochemical condensation with fruit extract as catalyst. This too has been seen in the case of the condensation is photochemical, using fruit extracts as the catalyst in this case to catalyze the reaction. And this has also been put forward. Papers are coming out on this. New work is continuously being put forward in this important reaction. So let's see as to how the others proceed. Just take a quick look at the earlier one. So we are going over this condensation as we went over, just reviewing it quickly for the Perkin, that how this condensation takes place in the presence of weak base electron withdrawing groups on an active methylene compound and a carbonyl compound, and this is leading to the formation of this product. And the mechanism, as has been earlier, as we know, proceeds for all, because aldol type of condensation, this is modified aldol condensation, is first of all generation of a carbene ion, which is stabilized how? By enolate formation. And so this stabilized enolate then will react further. It reacts further on the carbonyl carbon, and we get this, which with O negative abstracts an H positive from the base. This has been formed because this base was the one which helped in forming the carbene ion itself, taking this H positive from the active methylene. So now this time this H positive here will lead to the formation of this hydroxy compound, and this again by alpha beta elimination will form a double bond. So after this we saw to a few examples that if this is the case, because there are so many variants to this by using different types of active methylene compounds. So if this is the case with acetone and this, and in the presence of this base, therefore we will get this type of a compound, which further by hydrolysis will give us acid, and on decarboxylation, and we will get 3-methyl crotonic acid. The mechanism has been proposed earlier, so one can work out the mechanism along those lines, because we are not doing the mechanism of each and every reaction. Similarly, if we are using acetaldehyde and as the carbonyl compound, earlier it was acetone, this is acetaldehyde, and in this case now here the diester, and we will be therefore getting the CH3CH, and in place of that we will be getting CH, 1H forming carbene eliminated to form carbene ion, CH, and in place of this double bond O, we are getting after H2O elimination ultimately, because that was, we saw in the mechanism how ultimately H2O was eliminated. So double bond C, COR2, and this reacts further in a Michael type of addition with this. So we will be getting CH3, CH, and there will be two of these, because one was added earlier. Now again this addition, because this double bond is present, so here we will get again CH, COR2. So two of these by Michael reaction. Remember, Michael reaction. So one will be a Michael acceptor, the one will be a Michael donor. Michael type of reaction this is. And this on hydrolysis will give us CH3CH, CH2, COH, because there will be decarboxylation. So CH2, COH, CH2, COH, and at the same time an alcohol will be formed. This is a diester. So this is now 3-methyl glutaric acid. And if we are using, in other words, we are using glyoxylic acid, in that case again with the diester we will be getting COH, CH, and again here C, COR whole twice, H minus carbon dioxide, we will get COH, CH, COH in this reaction. So these were a few examples which we did even earlier. This is double bond C, COR2 over here. So now let's see the Dubner. We saw the modification. The Dubner modification simply meant that we used what? We used the malonic acid rather than the diester. And in this modification we saw that how this unsaturated acid was formed now, because in the presence of a base again led to the formation of a carbene ion, and which formed a stable hydrogen bonded delocalized ion which reacted with the carbonyl to finally give us the product through these steps, whereby what was eliminated, carbon dioxide and water OH from RCHOH, RCH, this was O negative, H it took from the base, so giving rise to the trans-alkyloic acid. So this is all for today. Good day.